Hey everyone, last time we talked about the runes, item builds, animation cancels for Darius. This time we're going to talk a little bit about when to pick Darius. So for this guide I got some help from the best Darius we have in EU West. He's currently ranked 22 with 1000 LP and he's called Stop Speaking in game. And then on Twitter he's called Kerberos. Now let's get into it. Let's start with the worst matchups. Second we're going to talk about the difficult matchup, and last we're going to talk about the easy matchups. Right, so the first matchup we have is Yorick. When you play against Yorick, what you want to do is you want to let him push you, and then you want to sync up with your jungler and gank him. You have ghost advantage, so you want to run him down with your jungler and try to kill him. Second matchup we have the worst nightmare for all top laners, Vayne. Nobody wants to play against Vayne. She's an absolute monster to play against and she's super difficult. She's going to push you all day, and similar to Yorick, you want to wait for your jungler and try to run her down. Last of the worst matchups we have Jayce. Jayce is an absolute lane dominator. You're going to lose to him in lane most likely unless you get really good jungle ganks. But the thing is that you actually outscale him. Even though Darius isn't a good scaling champion, you still outscale Jayce because Jayce is such a worst scaling champion. As long as you can go somewhat even or a little bit behind, you'll be just fine. Alright, so now we're getting into some more fun matchups. These matchups are difficult, but you can win them, even 1v1, so it's not a big problem. So first up we have Riven. Riven is a skill matchup that mainly depends on them. What you want to do against Riven is you want to skill W level 1 and look for an all-in level 1 or 2 to try and get a small advantage against her. You have your ghost, you can run her down if she messes up, and this is your number one timing to actually get an advantage on lane and start beating her up. Next up we have Jayce. He's very different. He starts to outscale you after one item, so you want to abuse him early game. You can look to trade with Qs against him as he doesn't have any sustain, and then once you have a health advantage you can try to look for an all-in against him. Alright, now we gotta talk a little bit about Gnar. Gnar is historically one of Darius' worst matchups, but with Ghost is actually somewhat playable now. If you let Gnar push you, and you manage to hit one of your apprehends, your E ability on him, then you can run him down with your Ghost and you can try and kill him early game. He's extremely squishy early, so if he makes a small mistake in the early game you can try and dominate him, but the problem becomes after 1 to 2 items he starts to outscale you. Next up we got Sett. Sett is similar to Riven, where you want to skill W level 1 and try and go for the early domination. Sett becomes really strong and scary after he gets a few levels, so you really want to dominate him level 1 if you can at level 2, and see if you can get that kill on the level up advantage. This is also one of the reasons why Sett is used so much in pro play, because he's just a lane dominator and it's really hard to manage him. Now let's get into some of the easier matchups. Next up we're going to talk a little bit about Nasus. Nasus is an immobile champion that's extremely weak early game, so what you want to look for is to slow push really slowly, and then on the 3rd to 4th wave you want to see if you can make a kill on him. By slow pushing you allow yourself to get maximum damage on him while pushing to him and always getting level leads. So what you want to do is have the wave as close to the middle as possible while still pushing towards him, and then 3rd or 4th wave you shove it into his tower. And during that time you still want to damage him and hit him down every time he walks up to you. Next up we got Irelia. Let's talk a little bit about her. She's a very mobile champion, and the problem with mobile champs is they don't have many stats and they're extremely weak early game. So keep her away from getting 5 stacks, try to dominate her early with your W. When you walk in early, you can W her, walk her back a little bit, and if you wait 3 seconds you can walk up again, you still have your passive stacks on her, and then you can try and look for a kill. Also when playing against Irelia, you want to try and call your jungler up top because she's such an easy kill and she doesn't really have any good escapes. If you manage to get your jungler top and beat her up early game, you will snowball super hard and win the game, as she becomes really useless. Next up we have Camille. It's a little bit of a tricky matchup because you want to keep focusing on wave manipulation. You want to keep the wave around the middle, and you want to shove in to make sure that the waves are not close to her tower, because she can use the walls to jump in and then jump on you, stun you, and do damage back to you. And also she can set up ganks on you by doing so. So what you want to do is keep the wave around the middle. You can always beat her up. You can use your apprehend to stop her jump, her hook shot. And then if you manage to do that, you can just run her down and kill her. You absolutely dominate her if you play it well, but focus very hard on minion wave management. Next up we have Shen. Shen is a champ you want to constantly push in and damage whenever you can. Shen is actually able to survive a lot of your damage if you play it perfect. But the thing is, and if you constantly push, especially after 6, you remove the option for Shen to teleport around and get out of the lane. And the only thing Shen wants to do against Darius is to get out of the lane as fast as possible. And if you can negate that opportunity, then you're going to win the lane harder because your team is actually going to have an advantage from him not being able to ultimate around. Next up we have Aatrox, the healing maniac. The thing about Aatrox is that he's extremely weak early game in level 1 and 2. So what you want to try and do is when he goes up for CS, you walk up to him, you auto W him level 1 with an animation cancel, and then you back off a little bit. After about 3 seconds, as I said earlier, you walk up again, and if he allows you to hit him again, then you try to all-in him the ghost and get a massive advantage. You might be able to get a kill, but even if you can't, you're going to burn a lot of health, or you're going to burn a summoner spell potentially. Alright, so now we get to the last but not least champion. We're going to talk a little bit about Sion here. Sion is a champ that can beat up relatively easy. He can't actually do anything against you. You can save your apprehend for whenever he starts charging his stun up, and then when he starts it up, you apprehend him and then you just run him down. There's not much he's going to be able to do. Now, is there any matchups that you guys think I forgot? Write down in comments what you guys thought about the video and tell us if you wanted some other matchups to be featured in the guide. See you guys next time, and peace out.